Hello everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp. Now, as ever, we do have a lot of lowest evers, but I think this list is comprised of some really interesting ones and a load that I've never spoken about before. I've added 3 games to my own backlog. That's got to be terrifying news, hasn't it, really, after about 1,000 sales videos. Here's the winner of the free game from last week. You left a great comment. If you'd like to win a copy of, well, I've got a few copies of different bits and bobs, actually. I think I've still got some Night Dive stuff and maybe a couple of copies of Neverwinter Nights 2 left. Just leave your comments down below. Let me know what you've been playing or buying. And without further ado, what games are on sale this week? Welp, my name's Mark Walker. Welcome back to SwitchUp. Now let's find out. We're going to kick off with the sponsor of this episode, but it's one of those sponsors where it doesn't matter if it's sponsored or not. I'm currently working on the review of it, and my goodness, I'm not allowed to say anything. It's embargoed, isn't it? But I will say, keep your eye on Discounty. It's 20% off. That goes on until launch on August the 20th, and it takes it down to £13.59. In it, you have to manage your own discount supermarket. So if you remember Moonlighter, where you had that theme where you would go into dungeons and stuff, this one has a similar vibe, but it's much more fleshed out in terms of your supermarket. You can get deliveries direct to your store, you can rearrange all of your products, you can get new ones in. Eventually you'll be hiring staff in to try and make things easier for yourself, and there are lots of friends and enemies that may become rivals within the town. The second I saw this one, I knew. You know when like you first saw Stardew Valley or you first saw Eastwood, there's just a certain something, isn't there? It's like that blend of, they've got the pixel art right, they've got the atmosphere right, the premise sounds amazing, and at this price, yeah, as I say, I can't talk about review, but let's base it on the demo. Play the demo, I'm sure you'll see what I mean. It is a lot of fun. It really ticks the boxes of all the things I enjoy within this genre, and then goes a little bit further to areas that I think have been skipped in other games. So far, so good, 20% off. The price on that one, £13.59 or your regional equivalent. A thank you to P-Cube for sponsoring this episode.
I'm rebranding into a discounty supermarket, and I need someone with bold new ideas.
Moon is a classic RPG that I've wanted to play for a long time. It's 50% off at the moment, and that goes on until August the 24th. I think I remember seeing a review by Jordan. If you've watched SwitchWatch back in the day, I'm sure Jordan reviewed this, whether it was on his newer channel, Physical Paradise, or on the old one. You should go check out Physical Paradise, by the way. But this originally launched in '97 in Japan, and it's an RPG that features no combat. They had this weird idea of subverting the usual, the usual RPGs is you go around, you kill everything and you steal from everyone. But here things were very different in that regard. After the main protagonist is sucked into what's known as the Moon World, and you level up and expand your experience by saving the souls of the animals and gathering up the love from the world. It might sound ridiculous. Go watch Jordan's full review. It will make a lot more sense. We don't have a review of it on the channel here, but every character in the world has their own routines and lives, and it's just a completely different flow from what you would experience in pretty much any other RPG. If that tickles your fancy, Moon is 50% off down to £7.24 or your regional equivalents until August the 24th.
But you can save the monster's souls and gather love from all the inhabitants of Moonworld.
Then we've also got our lowest ever price on Bear and Breakfast, the B&B sim where you play as a little bear. It's 55% off until August the 20th, taking it down to £7.53 or your regional equivalent. And this will be for people that enjoyed games like It Came from the Desert back on Amiga and PC in like the late 90s or whatever it was. Why do I say that? Because the controls just aren't good, and you need to be the kind of character that is willing to persevere and learn a set of slightly janky controls for a game that's excellent. The game underneath is so much fun. Sounds a little bit like Discounty in some ways, I guess. You run your B&B, you can customize bedrooms, things like that, get different guests coming in, but there are several different regions with their own biomes of sorts, and you have those guests come and experience those biomes, and you can hire staff in as you expand your empire. It's a great game. I wish they update this for Switch 2. Like this with mouse controls would be, ooh, chef's kiss. But on Switch, like some of the choices are just strange. So yeah, go check out my full review of it if you're interested. But Bear and Breakfast is its lowest ever at £7.53 until August the 20th. Next up, I thought we'd stick Hogwarts Legacy in at its cheapest ever price because it's simultaneously running alongside Hogwarts Legacy, the Switch 2 edition, which is stupidly expensive, but if you buy this one, you can get it much cheaper. So at the moment, this is 80% off, taking it to $11.99, which is alright. Like that's an okay price for the Switch 1 version. And if you buy the Switch 1 version on your Switch 2, there are options within the game to upgrade for $10. So you're getting it for a lot cheaper. You get the Switch 2 version for much cheaper. Now, top tip, and I don't care, it's Warner Brothers, you know, if they want to put this in, it's what they choose to do. If you have a mate that's got the game and you were to borrow the game from them, you could actually buy the $10 upgrade and then have the Switch 2 version and return the game to your friend. And have only paid $10 for it. I think that's legit. Like, you know, again, it's something you could do if you were so inclined. They're still getting their money, let's be honest. They're not there like rubbing the pennies together, are they? Counting their coppers, wondering about where their next meal's going to come from. They just like Patronus one into existence with another DLC pack on something that doesn't need it. I don't know if Patronus is the right term, by the way. You can tell I'm not a Harry Potter aficionado. But either way, Hogwarts Legacy, get it for stupidly cheap. It's got a download size of 17 gigs. It's an absolute chunker, but the Switch 2 version is much, much better than the Switch 1 edition. Now, I wasn't chatting rubbish at the start when I said the video's got a load of games in it that are a little more hidden or unique, and Novalands is one of them. Now, if I recall correctly, it was Asden that reviewed this for us on the channel, but it's down to its cheapest price now. It's actually gone a nice jump. It's down 50% to £8.99, and it describes itself, and I think this is quite a, it's a bit of a flex, isn't it really? Or self-glaze, if that is a thing. It describes itself as a mix of Factorio, Forager, and Satisfactory. So basically, some of the best games in the genre mixed together. You've got base buildings in there. I guess it does actually have some of those elements, especially things like Factorio, because there's an automation system so that the further you go in, you get these bots to do a lot of the more mundane jobs for you, which is always a nice touch in my opinion. And the island that you start out on is just one of lots of different islands that you can go and explore. It's on a planet, by the way, like an alien planet. And there is combat in there as well. I think you've got like a rifle or something that you can use. Really a good game, and maybe one that's less known. Quite long as well, but it's a 1.2 gig download for Novalands, £8.99 or your regional equivalent until September the 8th. Shadow Man Remastered is down 70% until August the 28th. That's its cheapest ever. It was so nice reviewing this one. Now, Shadow Man, if you don't know, was originally released on the Nintendo 64. Oh, I can't even remember when I had hair, and it was a good time, but a very dark one, and not one I was expecting. You're essentially hunting down famous serial killers in a slightly clunky 3D world. Now, I will say Night Dive have improved upon every aspect in terms of things like controls. It does just feel better, and actually the game does hold up. What was cool about it was you had like the real world and the I don't know, it's like hell. I don't think it's quite hell. I think it's just like the other side, Dead Side it was called. But as Night Dive had a tendency to do, it features new levels here, and they were really cool. Wasn't expecting that at all. As well as that, you've got improved audio, full voice acting. Yeah, it's funny, sometimes you play these Night Dive things and your brain goes, yeah, this is exactly what it used to look like. And then you see what it used to look like and you're like, man, oh my goodness. Like, didn't the N64 run at like 19 frames per second for a lot of games? Things like Turok and stuff. I'm sure it did. So yeah, if you're interested in this one, it's 70% off until August the 28th, and it's a 6 gig download. Then we have one that absolutely is not unique or new, but it runs so well on Switch 2, I thought I'd mention it, and it's Ashen. This is 75% off until September the 5th, £7.99, sadly only in the EU and Australian regions, but it's a Souls-like that, yeah, just runs silky smooth. In our Revisit series, we do a series where we go back and look at games that now run at 60 FPS on Switch 2. This one just crushed it. I didn't see any drops at all, and it's a very enjoyable game, whether you're playing on Switch 1 or 2, but it's a Souls-like where you have a village area that gradually expands and gets larger. You're fighting these big monsters, and it has, like they always do, a co-op mechanic that requires you to give your friend a code and do all this nonsense. I don't know why, but it's there if you're interested in it. Ashen at 75% off? Yes please, it is a bargain. Now, America, you are very lucky. You have a great deal on Splintered Fate. Now, Splintered Fate is basically, it was originally released on Apple Arcade. Don't let that put you off. It was clearly Apple trying to get a big name on their books. But it's Hades. They've looked at Hades and gone, can we put the turtles on top? Yeah, you can. It works excellently. It has 4-player co-op, unlike Hades. But the DLC is out, and that adds in a new character and some new other bits and bobs, makes it feel a bit more fleshed out, but it's 50% off in the US. That's $16.64 for both the original game and the DLC, and the whole thing fits into a gig. Download sizes don't have to be so crazy, do they? In a world where the keycards exist, and I won't start a whole, I don't want to open up that can of worms, but it is nice to see Nintendo acknowledge that people hate game keycards, or at least most people do, and they would rather have physicals, and they're upping the storage size, aren't they, of the cartridges so that actually more developers can fit their games on. That's good, and I'm pleased, to be honest, that those keycards haven't sold as well. Whatever anyone will tell you, I go on Twitter and I'm like, keycards are rubbish. They don't sell well, no one wants them. And there are people there going, no, they're amazing, I want them. And, fair enough, if you do. I guess we don't have many... No, actually, I can't see any reasons. Not really. I can't see that many reasons. Help me out in the comments. Why do you like keycards if you do? But for everyone else, good news. Hopefully there will be less of them going forward, so happy days. Splintered Fate, as I say, 50% off. The cheapest it's ever been. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection is 50% off until August the 27th in all regions. This is a really good price for essentially 3 great games. Glen did the review of this. You'll have to excuse the quality of the image. Even just looking at the review footage here, it just looks very blurry, doesn't it? I know the game doesn't look that blurry, but I think it's always nice using your own footage as much as possible rather than trailers, and we've got it, so we might as well. He very much enjoyed revisiting them. They are tough games. They're arcade in the difficulty sense, but I guess more console in the way that they set these up. For the price they're asking though, it's definitely worth that. Go check out his full review. It's a 3.8 gigabyte download, which doesn't sound right to me. That download size sounds too small. Monster Hunter Stories is another one that has a decent discount in the US, but it's another that's so good on Switch 2, 60 frames per second, silky. In fairness, it was fine on Switch 1, it would hover between 30 and 60, but 33% off, only in the American regions. Prices are on your screen now. A great RPG, or JRPG I should say, with turn-based combat and all of your favourite monster goodness. They did a good job bringing this one across. I think it was originally a 3DS release. So yeah, not bad. 10.5 gigabyte download. The hidden gem this week is a cracking Metroidvania. It's called Guns of Fury. It's 25% off, which is its lowest ever price. That's £9.74. And if you took Metal Slug and merged it with basically any Metroidvania and then sprinkled on a little bit of, what was that one in the jungle, the parody? Tropic Thunder. Now we won't go into too deep on the details of that one, but it feels like a mixture of those elements and it is really good. This was one of the last great Switch 1 games that I had reviewed before the Switch 2 came out. Probably fell over or under a lot of radars, but do go check out my review because I think you might be surprised. And when they fit a game like this into 219 megabytes, yeah, you gotta be impressed with that. Some great boss fights as well. That's Guns of Fury, as I say, 25% off until August the 27th. Then we get on to my purchases. Now I've bought 3 of these and I own one already. The first one for our Savaloy Selection, our very cheap games, our fit cooks. We have Alone with You. I saw this one at 73% off, just $2.69. And they did a little Googling, watched a trailer, and it's a classic style adventure game where you play as the last survivor on a doomed space colony, which reminds me of a game called Dig, which came out way back. I had like the white label box version of it on PC, and it just kind of has this same atmosphere to it. You've got this scanner that helps you find clues. You're obviously solving puzzles, but you're trying to figure out what happened to those 24 colonists. It's not done in like a traditional point and click way, so although I describe it as like a point and click adventure game, it's not quite. It's done slightly differently, and I think the solo indie dev here, Benjamin Rivers, he just did a good job, and it's nice to be talking about games like this. My next purchase was Treachery in Beatdown City at 85% off. Cost me £2.23, about the price of, well, half a portion of chips these days in the UK. But here you take on the role of 3 different characters, and it's a beat 'em up RPG. It has this mixture of real-time fighting and turn-based, with loads of different moves to learn as you go through it. I know some of you will look at this and be like, no, not my cup of tea, just based on the visuals. I know my daughter, every time she sees a game like this, she just says, oh, that's an old game, and walks off, which almost makes me cry. But I'm having a blast. I think you'll know if this is for you. That sale goes on until September the 2nd. Blade Runner the Enhanced Edition at 75% off, one of the best point and click adventure games ever made. I had this on CD, on my PC. I remember booting it up and being like, wow, it looks like a film, like it looks incredible. And weirdly, I actually played the game before I watched the film because I was too young for the film at that time. But when I did, I was like, yes, it's all come together perfectly. 75% off. Actually, Night Dive, when they initially released this, it was a mess. And lots of silly YouTube people were messaging them going, you can't mess this one up. Look at it. It's got this bug and that bug. By the way, I mean me. And they fixed it up. So yeah, fair play. It actually saw massive improvements after launch. It was one of the only point and click adventures that had different scenarios. So one time you might have someone attack you in a location, another time a replicant could be found somewhere else. So yeah, it had that feeling of variety at least every time you played it. Last but not least, we have Jump King at 70% off. I got this one, I think it was just over £3, and I bought it simply on the trailer. I looked at it and went, that looks good. I'm gonna buy it, and I did. I didn't realize that this actually includes 2 free expansion packs as well, and it's a platformer. You're trying to make your way up. You're going up, up and away, and it has a really addictive gameplay loop. If you're a fan of platformers, I think you're gonna really get a kick out of this one for sure. 70% off until August the 27th. So my friends, it is only time now to head out to the allotments and have a look at the FarmUp, the most realistic farming sim you will ever see in your lives. So realistic, in fact, it may well be real. So let's go and have a look.
Alright, you can see I've got a giant bag of harvested onions. Happy days. Look at those. Beauty. Look, tons of them. So if anyone wants any onions, you know, all yours. You can tell the weather's nice in the UK because people only ever mow the grass when the weather's nice. Like, it's almost like the lawnmowers don't work. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like, you know, if it's raining, obviously not. But they don't mow the lawn at any other time. All right, FarmUp is not looking great. This is not a sweet corn, is it? What on earth is it? I'm growing a load of like, looks like something out of Resident Evil. What the heck is that? I don't even know what that is, so, you know, I mean, those are the best things I'm growing at the moment. Couple of little poppies. What else have we got? These are Grandpa's noses, we used to call them. But yeah, this isn't really growing, is it? This is like the devastation following the growing. There's a ton of potatoes I need to dig up. They're probably wrecked. Oh, hang on. Hang on. What we got here? Oh, yeah, I mean, there's some slight damage to the old boy, but that's a serious Tommy T, isn't it? So serious, in fact, it's actually knocked the stick over. What an absolute hench beast. What we got here? Oh, there's another one back there. It's huge. Let's have a look. I'm wearing footwear this time. Wow. Okay. That is absolutely giant. The slugs have had a little bite, but I don't blame them. I'll finish it off though. That's an absolute weapon, isn't it? Again, it's pulled a stick over. These are things I never thought would happen. And obviously it needs a lot more water. These have regrown. What we got down here? Yes, please. Just got offered a coffee. Happy days. Can we see that? Oh yeah, nice little tomato. I'm going to eat that. If I keel over, you know that I'm not very good at gardening. Right. Tastes like tomato, doesn't it? Nice. This is where the onions were, as you know. I must water this. You can tell, like the whole thing is just gasping for air. It's going to be nosy and see what someone else is doing. I must refill that as well. Okay, so someone must have paid for this plot to get like, you know, a little bit more stuff going on. But let's see here, look, the guy, sadly, I think he's passed away. There used to be a vineyard, so he had a vineyard here and was making wine from from that, which in this country is not really a done thing. Looks like they're putting up something over here though. That's good. It's better to use it, isn't it? Oh yes, the apples are ready. It's cool, isn't it? You just get like free food growing on trees, quite literally. And no one eats these. Pears. Yeah. So there you go. Get outside, touch grass. That's the saying, isn't it? It's a good saying, that. Wow. Look at my... Sorry, but I just need to show you this. Look at the size of my mate's pumpkins. Look at the size of those little beauties. This is so cool because he's also new. We're about the same age, and he's also like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's doing well, isn't he? I say he, it's actually his missus, really. He's being carried. Look, she's done a great job. They're actually watering their stuff and weeding it as well. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, I mean, the thing's just got real. It's just got real. So that competitive streak in my mind just triggered. All right, I'll come back next week. We'll see some significant improvements. All right, thanks to everyone that enjoyed the content. Don't worry, I'm not going to see you because there's a see you at the end. So I'm going to keep it chill out here. I can't have people hearing me doing that. So see you later.
As I always say in these videos, if you would like to save more money than these prices and support us, head over to our website, switchup.gg. We had a few little teething issues on it like the last couple of months. While I was on holiday, someone was like emailing me going, look, I can't pay and I can't switch off. When I see that stuff, I have to fix it. There were like people messaging me on Discord and stuff, which was a little, you know, but it is what it is. I have to fix it. So yeah, it's all sorted now. You can go and make your purchases and get 5% in cash back on any of them. And hopefully, yeah, just find something worth buying. A thank you to our Patreons, our members, all of you that enjoy the content. If you are a Patreon, I would like nudge you to move over to membership just because it gives you more stuff. Like you get these little emojis and bits and bobs like that. But otherwise, don't worry about it. If you'd rather just quit Patreon and run for the hills, do that as well. We really appreciate all the support you guys give us. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!